Let's not do that.
How long has this conversation? 36 minutes ago, we got on to record a podcast, and now the podcast begins. Think about all that material that everybody missed out on.
Listen, people don't want to hear us talk about poop for like 30 minutes, dude.
We were just talking about poop. Okay, so here's my question to you.
What is up, guys, and welcome to the VisualWood podcast, episode number 24. That is my age, and I'm here with the beautiful. There we go.
You're like quite old. 24. You're an 80s kid.
And
interesting.
And I exchanged the beautiful and elegant with poop sounds, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Beautiful way to open up a podcast.
So that's my introduction, is it? Poop sounds.
Yes,
really?
yes. All right. So, what did you find on Reddit?
Okay. I'm sure you don't actually have an answer to it, but I was just looking at Reddit posts. What is a conspiracy theory that you firmly believe in? Is there any conspiracy theory out there that you're like, that's probably true?
People might get mad if I do say
it. No, go for it.
Okay,
I will probably get mad.
I'm not like rooted in the floor. Like, I totally believe this, but I've always had a feeling maybe 9/11 might be true.
Okay. It might be true. Yeah, I think it was probably true. I think 9/11 happened. Yeah.
What was that? What was that first reaction? I heard and then I was like, yeah. And what was that?
Well, no, of course 9/11's true. What's the conspiracy theory you believe in?
No, the conspiracy theory was that the government did it. That
your own government did it for an excuse for a war for oil.
All right, so there's two planes that crash into it, and the whole thing just falls down. I just find that kind of weird. And people heard explosions from each floor going down. And if you actually watch some of the tapes, you can actually see like smoke poofing out, like it's being you ever seen a free fall building when someone it
like
fell,
a controlled demolition.
It fell just like that. Like, it's just a lot of stuff like that. Just like, oh man, wow, that looks like a demolition, not like a plane crashed into the top of it and it just fell down. Like, that just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if it's actually the government, but I felt like there was more to the story than just two planes hitting into a building. Like, I don't think that's enough to kill a building. Like, I don't know.
Really? A plane flying into it? A huge...
To the top of a building? To the top of the building, and it just falls down like that?
So what you would expect if a plane hit it for it to like fall over, like sideways?
I have an elementary understanding of math. Okay? I don't even know what 2 + 2 is. That's a little bit under elementary, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
I was most scared you were going to say you thought the moon landings were fake.
No, I don't know. It's not that serious. Like, I have this, thing in the back of my head, like, oh, it could have been the government, but I'm like, I don't want to think about those things about the government controlling us, which I totally think there's some of that going on, but it's just like, who cares? Just kind of live like every oblivious American, just like my mom. My mom, oh my gosh. She doesn't care. She doesn't watch the news. She's like, she doesn't want to know anything that's going on about like not like news, but like the government stuff. Like, she doesn't want to know. She doesn't want to think that the government might be, trying to not have healthcare and stuff like that. Like, she just wanted to be oblivious to that type of stuff.
I can kind of understand that. I think I don't really believe in any... I believe there are things covered up by the government, and I believe that there are probably, scandals waiting to be unfolded. But I think most real-life conspiracies that are actually going on are probably about very boring topics that are difficult to understand and usually about money and insurance and stuff like that. And it's like, those don't catch people's attention. I think all the big ones that everybody thinks about probably... just complete vapor, and they just sound like nice ideas, but really, like, every conspiracy theory assumes like the government is like this crazy intelligent capable thing. And I think like there was a quote by Stephen Fry, I think, at one point, where he was like, wow, people who believe in conspiracy theories are crazy. I grew up with the people who are currently in government. I know how incompetent they are, I know how crazy they are, and it would be ridiculous to assume they could pull off all this bizarre amazing trickery and stuff. And I think, but at some point in your life, you just sort of get jaded by it. And you're like,
what about the CIA stuff? Like, you see like stuff like Burn Notice, and then you see all these, you know, secret agent stuff. Do you really think, like, they kill off people, like assassins that they have, and they're just like, oh, one day like they're just burned, and they just kill them?
Like every president gets 3 free assassinations or something during their term.
You know, like all those. I wonder about that. Like, is this for real? Like, you know, is someone just romanticizing the whole secret agent thing, or is this like legit? Like, these are legit stories.
You know, I thought that exact thing while I was watching the Men in Black movie.
Oh my god!
I couldn't get through it. Damn it! If I had a straight face the whole way through, it would have been perfect.
Whoa, that would have blew my mind. I was like, "Oh, we're talking about aliens now, huh?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wearing the tin armor.
I believe that I met the Men in Black and they wiped my memory, and that's why I had such a hard time in school, because I like lost like a couple of months. And it was before my GCSEs.
So this is what happened. So you're walking to school one day, and then a spaceship came and took you up, and they probed you for a few months. Is that what happened? They probed you for a few months.
What's with the probing? You're the one that's done this. I was never probed. I just saw some stuff. I don't know what anymore.
For a couple months? You saw it for a couple
months? I got my mind
months?
wiped. Yeah, because I saw the first stuff early on, and they were scared I might have pieced it together. So they like flashed me, and there you go.
So you were the only one in the whole town.
And then I watched the movie, and I was like, Will Smith, I think I recognise that guy. This is really weird. I think I recognise him. Later, I would learn that I watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as a child, and would forget, but I believe I truly knew him from his real time as a Man in Black.
Did you watch After Earth?
After Earth? No, I don't think I did.
Okay, like, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought Jaden was really bad, but I didn't think it was that bad of a movie.
Oh, was this where father and son were both in it together?
Yeah, and it was directed by that dreadful director. Oh my gosh. M. Night Shyamalan?
M. Night Shyamalan, yeah, he wasn't his peak with Signs, and then that was it, and then Signs, The Sixth Sense.
He just destroyed movies, just destroyed it, dude. The Avatar. Oh my gosh,
that is Avatar. What are you talking about?
The Last Airbender.
Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Of course, yes. You're right.
He destroyed it. Like it seemed like he took the movie and he just took a knife and just.
So I was watching. So Philip Seymour Hoffman died. Did we mention that last week?
Oh, but that is so sad, dude. I saw that and I cried a little bit. Like it's for me, that's on par of Heath Ledger dying.
I've got to be honest.
Such a good actor. He's such a good actor, man.
Heath Ledger, I was like, oh, that's the dude from Batman, right? And that was it. Wait, it wasn't even out yet. Yeah, Heath Ledger really didn't impact me. Philip Seymour Hoffman did. Dirty Secret, however, I never knew who's the other Hoffman. I never knew the difference. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. I never knew the difference between until he died, between Philip Seymour Hoffman, Dustin Hoffman, and David Hasselhoff.
Oh my god!
I was like, Philip Seymour Hoffman's died, and I was like, oh, what, the Hasselhoff guy, like the Big Pegs guy? And then I watched some clips, and I was like, oh no, okay, it's this dude, and I recognized him immediately from Hunger Games. But yeah, that was pretty bad. No, so I was watching clips of his movies. Did you ever see the film called The Master?
No, I have it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, well, I was watching some clips of this, and it was like pretty cool. There were some crazy good moments. They involved lots of swearing and explicit stuff, so I won't talk about it like on the podcast. But yeah,
he knows how to deliver those moments. Like, you ever seen Mission Impossible? What's it called? Yeah, it's called Mission Impossible.
No, I have never seen a Mission Impossible.
When he was asking Tom Cruise for the rabbit's foot, it was just like, oh my gosh, his face, dude. Like,
for the rabbit's foot.
Yeah, he was asking for the rabbit's foot.
What's the rabbit's foot?
I think it's the one before Ghost Protocol. Watch the second movie, and he's in it, and he's just so good. Like, I don't know, I've never seen a movie with him just being bad. I almost thought, like, the movies that he was in, he directed it. I thought he directed. I didn't know he just acted in them. Like, that was the thought process when it came down to him, because he was always in a movie that he just changed the game. And he was the game master in Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And he's part of the Hunger Games. So I wonder if he filmed it.
And he's filmed, yeah. They said they filmed most of it except like some small stuff, but they should be able to like do it all because they're splitting the last movie into 2 parts and stuff.
Yeah,
but
they're filming the second movie right now. The first movie's already filmed already.
Yeah. But okay, so I know we say a lot that I don't like stuff. Okay, but you just said you've never seen a Philip Seymour Hoffman film that wasn't a good film.
Yeah.
I watched this film called The Master, which looked pretty good. And I forget, I had an original point to this, but I watched it and wow, now my story is I watched The Master and I thought it was bad. So there you go. Don't watch The Master.
I probably, I don't know, like
I had a
it
point
wasn't my vibe. That's why I haven't watched it yet. Because usually I'll just grab onto something like, oh man, I like this actor. Because I like, you ever seen Chronicle? Tell me you've seen Chronicle.
No, I haven't seen Chronicle.
Dude, it's probably it's one of my favorite movies, man. It's
really
that good. Yes, it's just a found footage movie, just like Cloverfield, but about superheroes. And
right, okay.
I love Michael B. Jordan. His name is Michael Jordan. It's the funniest thing. He's the black guy in them, but like one of my favorite actors. I forgot his name already. He was the guy who was kind of like not using his powers very well, and he was getting stronger and stronger because he was like very depressed.
Okay.
He ended up being like kind of like the bad guy in it, but he was so good in delivering that role. No, well, you kind of see that in the trailer. It doesn't. You know,
it's one of those.
It's kind of the bad guy. Yeah, it's about 3 friends that get superpowers. He actually playing who's Green Goblin is the father or Hobgoblin? Hobgoblin is the father. Green Goblin is the son. So he plays Harry Osborn.
Okay.
In the new Amazing Spider-Man, which is looking pretty cool. Even though I'm kind of on the fence with Electro and Jamie Foxx. I know Jamie Foxx is a good actor, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the start of the new Amazing Spider-Man stuff.
You ever seen the first movie?
No, I feel like it was too soon after Tobey Maguire. I was like so hung up on that dude. Yeah, the third one kind of sucked and had this weird emo scene. And it's one of the only times I've been in the cinema where I felt genuinely awkward and like looked to people at my side and they look back and they're like, what is going on with this movie? And and you're like, wow, what have they done to the franchise? It's the only time I've ever had such a striking experience at the cinema.
I could just imagine just a room full of Total Biscuits. just all you guys being cynical, basically, about the movies. Like, that's not good. No, it's not good. It just a mix between a cynical Brit and the lemon from Super Adventure Time. You ever seen Super Adventure Time?
No,
Adventure Time, I mean.
Oh, you're saying all this stuff that I haven't watched. It's making me look really uncultured.
Oh, gosh. I watch too much stuff. That's probably the reason. Mm-hmm. Also, I would like to recommend The Way Back. It's pretty much my childhood in that. It's with Steve Carell.
The list is growing. Okay. Steve Carell.
Steve Carell is the douche stepfather. Like, he in a trailer, he basically asked the stepson, like, oh, what do you think you are? Dude, what do you think you are? What scale of 1 to 10? And he was like, I don't know. Like, and he's like, come on, just tell me. It's good exercise or whatever. And he's like, a 6?
The answer is always 10.
And he's like, a 6? I think you're more of a 3. You want me to tell you how you're more of a 3? And he goes on to explain why he thinks he's a 3. And it's, oh my God, it's basically my childhood.
Wow,
and my stepdad, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's not the only reason why I love the movie, but it's really good. Like, Steve Carell is always, good at his performances, and I'm so glad that he's just not some like, oh, I'm just good at this, and I'm only good at this. He's one of those actors that actually can spread out from the whole funniness thing, and he actually can.
I thought he really only hit it big when he did Anchorman, and before that, I really don't know any other films.
I hated that movie.
That is
I know.
Shocking.
I know.
I don't like it. And dangerous to announce with Anchorman 2 coming, which everyone's expecting to be a roaring success. No, that was sarcasm right there. Some people, I'm hoping it will do well. You didn't like Anchorman?
I didn't hate it. I don't know. I watched it back in high school and I was just like, eh. I don't know. I thought the comedy was a little dry.
It does fall into like that there is like a certain type of American comedy film that like for a while in my life, definitely I was just like, I really don't care for this. I really don't care. Like it's the kind of film that you, or I guess somewhat snobbishly believed you would go to, you'd watch at home with a DVD and, you know, maybe a drink or so. That is where you would watch a film like that. They're not for the cinema. You know, cinema was for good movies that, you know, made you think or had real drama and thrilling moments and stuff. And there's like a whole load of American comedy films, you know, with like all a very specific ring of actors that do them all, that have sort of died away a bit lately. I think there's a lot more, the humor's shifted a bit. But yeah, and Anchorman was like bang on as one of those. I liked it though. I thought it was hilarious.
All right, so enough about movies, because this is obviously a gaming podcast
whoa,
and not a movie podcast.
Let me finish my thought. I remembered, okay, why I mentioned that I didn't like The Master, okay? You mentioned M. Night Shyamalan, like ruining movies.
Yeah.
The guy that did The Master, I thought it was okay. I was like, all right, this is maybe a 7 out of 10. Did some extra reading on it, and then I instantly found out that the guy who directed it directed a film called Magnolia? Have you ever heard of Magnolia?
No.
It was like this critically acclaimed, like, oh, it's this amazing thing. And it's a movie based on the premise that even really day-to-day situations can be really dramatic and tragic and stuff. So like, there's a character in it, and I think it's Seymour Hoffman, again, who spends the entire movie just bawling and crying. And it's the most ridiculous amount of drivel I had ever watched. And I couldn't stand Magnolia. And then I saw that The Master was directed by the same guy, and I was like, oh,
it's kind of one of those movies where only some people would understand, kind of like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Like I can't believe I watched from beginning to end and I was like, what was that? Like me and my wife just, I don't know, like
think
the
we're probably
acting was
annoying
good.
a lot of people with our opinions on movies right now.
Yeah, I was just like, what is this crap?
I think we've just bashed a lot of good movies.
It was just like, I was like, I guess I'm just stupid. I feel like I'm just stupid. Like I followed along a little bit, but like I didn't get the whole movie. Like I didn't get it. Like it's just.
Oh, that's not a good sign if you didn't get the movie. You can't say you didn't like it if you don't understand it.
Watch it.
Isn't it? Isn't the
of course
movie
you could
like
say
a
you didn't
remake
like
of
it
a
if
novel
you
or something though?
Of course, if you could say you don't like it.
Yeah, but that's gonna piss people off that did understand it. They're gonna be like, "Oh, don't judge it. You just don't know what it is."
I'm pretty sure people. Watched Life of Pi, enjoyed the movie, but didn't completely understand it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people enjoyed what's BioShock Infinite, but didn't completely understand it.
Yeah, I knew that you had a history of this. Yeah, BioShock Infinite, you didn't like it as much as you should have because you didn't understand it.
No, I didn't like it because I thought the combat was crap.
No, you told me when we finished it that you did like at the ending, you weren't digging the ending that much because a lot of it went over your head. True or false? Come on, there's a little bit of truth there.
No, I thought the ending wasn't as crazy as people make it seem. I guess I'm more on a cynical side about this. Like I just, when people give things a 10, I'm like, it's not a 10. But the thing is, if you give something a 10, it's their opinion. Like, okay, I felt like there was nothing wrong with this game personally. So, you know, that's a contradiction for myself. But like, yeah, like for me, it's just like The Last of Us. Like it was a good game. You put ladders up for like half the game. Like it's like, whoa, you know, like it's not on par of Uncharted. Uncharted is way better than Last of Us. Even though Last of Us had a really good story. And just like the overall package, I felt like they could have done better. But people are like, they jump on this wagon. One person gives it a 10, everyone gives it a 10. I just don't like that type of stuff. Like I think it's a really good game. I just don't like this hype train that people hop on sometimes. Even though I be hopping on it sometimes. So you know, whatever.
Lots of controversial opinions coming from Matt Visual.
EverQuest next. Landmark is looking pretty tasty. That's all I'm saying. My friend has it, and yeah,
I've seen like nothing except their initial announcement of it, and everyone's like starting to get to the point where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play it," and I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on alpha right now,
educate myself.
and people like it. So that kind of shows that it's probably going to be a big thing. I'm just going to say, I'm going to go ahead and put my credit on the line. My credit, even though, you know, I only have, I'm not going to say my credit score.
Wow, we're almost there.
We're almost there. I used to have a 740, believe it or not, when I was young. Yeah,
wow,
it's crazy. As I got older, well, it all happened at one time. I got married, and that was it. In the beginning, in that beginning phase, like when you're young, you know, this is like almost 5 years ago when I got married. Like, I messed up, and I was. So yeah, basically, my wife messed up my credit. So that's what I'm gonna say. She don't listen to the show, right? Right, babe? You're not listening right now, so it's good. It's good.
She's not there, is she?
No, of course she's not. I never record. It's so much easier to record and talk loud if I want to, you know, when nobody's here.
I can't record like if someone knocks as I'm recording, it really puts me on edge. I hate the thought that someone's out there listening. I hate it. Me too. It's like a crazy skill. I watch some streamers and like you see that they get slightly on edge when someone like comes in the room or whatever, but I feel like it's the most stressful thing ever. I'm like, oh, especially with the way I do it. Like I'm always repeating myself and stuff and messing up lines. I must sound like a complete chimp to someone like listening in. So paranoid.
Yeah. I record sometimes in front of my wife because I have to like fix something in the video, and she'll just hear me repeat the line over and over and over again until I get it right. Like, especially for like visual review, like stuff like I spend a lot of time on. I kind of want it to work properly, and some mistakes still get through, but I sit there and repeat it until I get it right. And especially if I want it all in one strip without messing up and it being like perfectly synced with the video. Like, and she's like, damn, like you keep repeating it.
Do you sometimes find that you can just like whiz through it all and like you never mess up? And then sometimes you're just like hung up on it's really weird.
Like really weird. I would whiz right through it, and then it'll just get to this part where it's just like, I don't know, something happened and it just puts you in this mood, and you're like, oh, I can't get through this line. I feel like just quitting right now. Yeah,
it's like, I don't know, I like in a conversation like doing this, I can express myself just fine. But when I'm like recording on my own and I allow myself that opportunity just once to go back and restate something, but in a different way, at that moment I'm screwed, and then I'm constantly restating and restating and restating. You get stuck in like a pattern. But if you just get used to talking properly, I think, and not affording yourself that freedom, you can record it. Like, it's a theory of mine that I've been trying to test for a long time. But
it's one of those things where, you know, I notice a lot of the mistakes I do, but a lot of people don't notice it.
We notice.
Because we listen to it over and over again, and we're like, oh, maybe I should do this part over again. And then it takes another 30 minutes, like, just to fix the part that you're doing. Like, whatever.
Another 30 minutes, a bit like it's going to be another 30 minutes before we talk about GW2, yeah?
It's fine. It's totally fine. Like, half the people listen to us to talk about stuff anyway. And then half of them
Tinker
are like,
Tailor Soldier Spy is a 2011 Cold War espionage film directed by Thomas Alfredson. You got any opinions on that?
No? Anyways, you know, this is what's gonna happen. Someone in the comments are gonna be like, "Oh, the podcast starts at 24 minutes." You know, you shut up, okay?
No, it's good. It's
you
like
can take
the
worst word in the universe, and that's what I just said to you.
It's like a game, dude. It's like, okay, today we're playing the game. We're seeing when that guy leaves that comment, how late like the timestamp is, and you just push it, and you got to better your goal until it's like a 3-hour podcast, and it's like Guild Wars 2 starts at 2 minutes 40, and we just like silently high five. Amazing.
You mean 2 hours? 2 hours 40.
Oh, did I say 2 minutes? Yeah, no, definitely not 2 minutes.
Oh gosh. Okay. What do we got? What do we got for Guild Wars 2?
In all seriousness, we are ready for the bongs. Did I collect the subjects this week, by the way?
Slightly racist there. I don't know. Did you? No one's prepared?
I did. I've got some, but have you got any?
No, actually I don't. I'm just going to do this from memory because I don't know, it's not much going on.
What are you talking about? There's loads going on.
Well, a lot of lore that they forced down our throats, but yeah. Ooh,
what? Don't you dare say that. Forced down our throats.
We started like this.
Forced down our throats.
I take that back. the magic of editing.
For once, are finally taking the living story to a point where they're seeking out the lore, and it's got nothing to do with the update the content that came in this update. It's all separate, and it's finally in a good spot. And you say that.
It was good. It was good.
The audacity.
It was good. It was good. I'm just being whatever.
I'm just
saying. All right, like the first part was good. The second part where you're basically clicking on things, right? And they're talking. I thought that was cool. It's just I felt like a lot of it was like, okay, here's what happened. Okay, you need to catch up on everything. You know, it's kind of one of those episodes where you know, they kind of have to go through like being cut loose ends and stuff like that. That type of episode.
We wouldn't need these episodes if people like you just paid attention the whole time. You know,
true.
It's for your benefit. It's for your benefit. People like me, we're like, come on, man.
And now I know a lot more of the story because of it. So that's always
all right. Here is what I love to do this. I love to put you on the spot. Can you say
no?
It's good. It's fine. It's fine. I want to know.
Every time you put me on the spot, I look like an idiot. This is not happening right now.
You don't. You
yes,
answer often. You answer very well, and I very much enjoy it. I would like to know.
Oh my god!
What happened from your words? What happened with the story this week? This episode.
What do you mean?
Well, okay. So what? Well, just tell me the story. Hey, Matt Visual. Wood and Potatoes here. I've got a question for the next VisualWood podcast. I played Guild Wars 2 last week, and I got to go in Scarlet's Secret Lair. But I missed this week. I'm going to be away on holiday in Hawaii. I know, first world problems, right? LOL. Can you please fill me in on what's going to happen? Because I'm going to miss that content. Because ArenaNet sucks. And the living world sucks. And there you go. That's it. That's the question.
The funny thing is that for some reason, I think Colin Johansson or a fake Colin Johansson says, I preferred the living strategy. Like in one of my videos, like people are arguing in the comments and he just commented, I preferred the living world strategy. I'm like, I wonder if that was him for real.
I had a fake Colin Johansson right near launch, like when I was doing countdown videos for the game, like leave one message on one of my videos and it made me freak out, and then everyone was like, oh no, it's a fake guy, and I was like, oh, damn it.
So what happened in the story this week, Wood and Potatoes?
No, come on, I really want to hear what happened from you. And it's not to trap you, it's just I want to see how... I'm curious, okay, because you're not so much into the lore, right? I obsess over every little detail. You're not so into it, so I'm just curious what a layman's perspective of what the story is like, and I think a lot of people
But I'm the lowest of the low. Like, it's just like, I would... All right, it's just like school. You learn math, and then you forget it the next semester, because it's just like, you don't think you're going to use it eventually. But, all right. The first part was you going in and you find some, of course, you get a confirmation that Casimir and Marjorie are like an item.
Well, you've already skipped a bit.
And what do you mean?
What happens at Lion's Arch at the start?
Oh, one of the thumpers turn on.
Oh, okay, all right. So here we go. What happened at Lion's Arch?
The thumpers turn on. Come on, we already know what's gonna happen. All right, we already know what's gonna happen. Not
I've
us,
got like an awesome topic. I've got a bong that we can segue into after this discussion. So don't worry about us knowing what's gonna happen. Keep going.
So I thought that Rox was like, they're on edge. I don't see where they became friends. I thought they would show that, like, where they got tight. But for some reason, Rox came in and
with Marjorie in that lot.
Yeah, and Marjorie was fine with it. Like, I guess, cause you remember back at when they were in front of the tower, they were like, a little on heat, and they're like, oh, you did this, you did that. But
I think on heat for a char means something very different to what you just said. But yeah, no, you're right. You're right, because like I saw Rox went in there and they were like, "Oh, we're best of friends. We can talk to each other. We're gal pals." And I was like, "Well, when did this happen?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've been around each other.
I guess she did kind of say it a little bit like, "Oh, we're friends," getting inside your business type of thing. I don't know, but
friends.
Yeah, like friends, like in quotations. Like Braum was always fine with them, and Casimir was always fine with each other as well. It's just them two that had heat. And I felt like something needed to happen for them to at least talk to each other, because they obviously, Roxas is not gonna let that go. She's a char, right? She's in heat. Oh damn! All right. So, anyways, like she's like sits down, like that's like the confirmation that she's relaxed, right?
Yeah.
Like a char doesn't just like slouch down on the floor and it's like it's okay, right? But you know she slouched down.
She sits on the floor of the bar, of this manky old dead end bar, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'll sit on the floor. This is cool."
And then she talks about her man that used to be in her own warband, which I didn't know she had a warband. I didn't know that she was in one, and then everyone died. I didn't know that.
That's good, because that only ever appeared on. That was one of those stupid things that only ever appeared on the website, which was cool, but it was never in game.
Wow,
so now you know.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So they just put in these characters and they don't have any backstory whatsoever. How are we supposed
they
to
do
care
have
about
backstory.
anything?
They do have backstory. They're just never in game. A lot of the story in the living world was all put on the website, and everyone was like, "This is great," but why isn't it in game? And then, like 4 months ago or so, they stopped doing those stories, and the stuff.
Now that they're doing it this way, I feel like I'm a little bit like I'm more inclined to read instead of skipping through stuff and actually, even though they didn't really have much to read, but like I feel like I'm more tied to the story. I feel like I know something of the story now instead of me just like breezing through and me not grasping anything, any knowledge whatsoever. And they did add some more voice acting with some, text as well, which is always good. So they have a blend of it, which is I think is a perfect blend to kind of keep you interested. And they kind of separated like, okay, we're gonna have voice acting for each piece but that's the second part. Anyways, they talk. I think someone else comes in as well. I can't remember who comes in.
Just Rox at first. Just Rox. What does Rox say? Rox comes with news. It starts a Lion's Arch, and you find out that there's a probe in the water that changes colours mysteriously. You go to Marjorie Delacroix to explain the situation. After you've done that, Rox appears in the bar with news. What did she tell you? Where did you go after that in the patch? What's the whole point of the patch? What's the new map that was added with the patch?
Well, the Edge of the Mist.
Okay, so what does Rox tell you?
I don't remember.
Okay, she tells you that Bram and Timey, the new Asura, that they're in the Edge of the Mist. Did you do that bit?
Yeah, I did all of it. I finished it.
Okay, so yeah, and then what happens with the patch is you go in the Edge of the Mist, you see those two. Do you remember what they say?
No, not
okay.
at all.
Well, Timey has got like a disease where she can't really walk very far. She's basically like...
Oh, that's why she's always on the golem.
Yeah. But the golem's broken down, so you have to go repair it. What did you think of that? Did you spend long in the Edge of the Mist at that point?
No, I didn't spend long, to be honest.
I made a beeline and then left.
Yeah, I pretty much played, some zerging stuff, and I thought it was some nice open areas there, and like a lot of like, zerging was going on, really cool stuff. But I don't know, it feels like level 1 World v World all over again, because you're not gonna get that, organization like you get in, like regular World v World. You're gonna get those random guys that are just going in just for fun. So it's kind of like the old World v World all over again, pretty much, but just just for fun, basically. Which that's what it is.
A lot of people have been like praising the map design actually since it came out. There's been like
it looks awesome. It looks
not just the way it looks, but the way it's designed as well, with the way that the Zergs move across the map and so forth. And
you can push them.
The placement of seed and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could corner them and stuff like that. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. For them, like I played like an hour or two of it.
That's way more than me. I literally did that tiny bit to get the golem parts and left. I've not played any of it. So
yeah, well there you go. I need to do the golem parts then, because I didn't do that yet. I saw the achievements. But I didn't do that one yet. Yeah, I just did the story stuff.
Does that mean your living story ended there then?
No. I went back to Marjorie and Casimir.
Oh, okay.
And we started talking about the each part. And
all right. So what did we find
them.
out? How did it work?
No, I'm not going through all that. You crazy?
No. But what was the general idea when you get there? What was going on?
Basically, we're just finding out, piecing all the story together of all the living story from the past and what's happening now and what she's going to do and where her attack is going to be.
And where is it going to be?
Hold up, did they actually confirm it? I don't want to
Yeah,
say
they
it.
did. They did. Yeah, man, it's all over the patch. It's all over the patch.
Okay, Lion's
The
Arch.
whole point of it. Okay,
obviously
yeah.
it's gonna be in Lion's Arch. So obviously those, you know, those portals that we saw. Come on, it was obviously Lion's Arch. There's no portals that are like back to back like that.
You mean he means the surrogates? Yeah,
the surrogates
like from the teaser that were broken. Yeah.
Like it was obviously. I don't know. Like even if I knew that before someone told me that. So it's like whatever. Yeah. Go ahead.
And that was pretty much the patch in a nutshell. I think you did pretty good. You remembered a lot of it. Was there anything specific in the room at the end that you were like, oh, that's pretty cool? And there's no right or wrong answer to that. I'm just curious whether anything stuck out in your mind. Because like for me, there was that bit where they were like, where they mentioned Kaith and how Kaith has like this secret and there's something going on between Kaith and Scarlet. And I'd forgotten about that, and that came back, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember that one. But it's funny because I didn't notice that they were like there was a wrong answer. I didn't notice until like until like I don't know, like the last bits. I was like, oh, I got it wrong. Like what? She was like, oh, you need to do your deduction again, and I'm like, oh, I thought so. I apparently was getting it right this whole time. So
I think the way it works,
sign, I guess.
Yeah, I think that. I did it, like, and I never got it wrong, so I was like, oh, it's just complete freedom, and then everyone's like, oh, no, you can actually get it wrong. I think what it probably is it's like there's 2 right answers and only 1 wrong answer per thing. So that's why some of us, like, managed to luck our way through it.
There was one where, with the Clock Knight, Twisted Minions. Do you remember the one where they said, Queen Janna hired Scarlet, or Queen Janna was plotting with Scarlet, like all those. I don't think there were 2 right answers there, were they?
2 wrong answers, you mean?
There's 2 wrong answers. You said 2 right answers, and there one wrong answer.
Yeah. Well, there could have been 2 right answers, or there could have been like a right answer and then sort of a remarkably implausible answer, but something that's, you know, not necessarily wrong. It can't be disproven, you know, perhaps. So like the characters be like, that's interesting, and then quickly move on. And then there's one answer where they're like, yeah, I completely agree, that's awesome. And then there's one answer where they're like, no, try again, you're an idiot, kind of thing. Like, but that's what they did with the story, okay?
Yeah.
So here's my segue is like terrible now, but bong. Did you know? Should I mention this? I guess I have to now. It's too late. All right, and I in no way condone people to look for this. It's gonna be everywhere, especially by the time the podcast comes out. So in the most recent client, ArenaNet added a whole bunch of stuff. So we've got one more update, and then a final update for the living world.
Yeah.
Loads of the dialogue and text and all this crazy stuff about the living story is all in the client right now. People have data mined it and posted the spoilers all over the internet.
Whoa. Wow.
Yep. Everything. Well, not everything, but there's like a load of stuff now that is just completely spoiled, and if you really look really hard, you will probably be able to find it. Tons of stuff getting deleted all over the place, but, you know, it's spreading like wildfire, which I think is probably a good sign. It means people are quite invested in the living story, and most of the reactions I've heard from people about what's going to happen hasn't been, you know, like negative or anything. So, like, overall, it's kind of good signs, but it's such a shame, man. It's like completely spoiled. I've like read what the spoilers are, and it's like, it's just the worst thing in the world to see. What do you think about that? I got like a lot of thoughts on it. I'm just wondering.
No, I mean, people are gonna do this regardless, right? I mean, people do it for every game like this, MMO game. Like they.
But here's the thing, right? One of the probably the most prominent data miner, that Shaman over on Reddit, right, has always like hid any spoilers that he would come across. Has just not. It's not been announced to the community. You know, it's sort of like one of those safeguard things. It's one of those things that you do out of respect, and it's one of those things that people have always sort of nodded at and thought, yeah, that's pretty good guy kind of thing. But ever since the Queen's Jubilee, I believe it was, he actually messaged me like 12 hours or so before this all came up, and he was basically saying, oh my god, there's like all this ridiculous stuff that ArenaNet have put in the patch, like it's all over the place. This is gonna get out, and like the main question on my mind now is, why has that gone in there in the first place? You know, like, if since the Jubilee, they had managed to not have any stupidly spoilerific stuff go out into clients, and nothing was spoiled for any other patches, why is it now that all of a sudden all of this stuff gets thrown in to blow the big reveal? Why would they do that? Why would all of a sudden they just like have this sudden switch and change, or this massive lapse when it was most important? How can something like that happen? It's just like beyond me.
I never got why they could data mine. I thought people were data mining, you know, the alpha client or something. Not the alpha client, the beta client that they have for testing. That's what I thought they were doing. Like, I never knew that ArenaNet would intentionally put in things that would, you know.
Yeah, well, they put in back-end stuff so that when the patch finally goes live to enable that stuff.
They don't have that, you don't have to download much.
Yeah, and maybe there's other reasons as well. But yeah, you know, largely it's getting assets in there preloaded, so to speak, trickled in through releases. And if that is indeed the only reason they would put it in early, at the risk, at the cost of the entire community being spoiled like that. Because here's the thing, right? I was doing worm runs as ever. What a surprise! And people started talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Wood and Potatoes, look, we found out about the patch, you know." And people can't help themselves, and they want to talk about it. And I'm like, "No, there is no way I'm talking about any of this with any of you. Like, just because it's spoiled, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be talking about it until before the patch comes out." But you know, everybody's like trying to spoil it for themselves, and as that spreads, even the people who don't want to be spoiled are gonna accidentally hear it in conversation. You're gonna get, you know, absolute douches in Lion's Arch map chat saying, "Ooh, look at what's gonna happen," and in local chat, and just completely ruining it. And there are a lot of people.
They feed off of negativity like that.
It's
like
horrible.
Ruining other people's, yeah.
There's like a lot of people.
I've met some really terrible people in Rust recently, so it's all good.
You've been playing Rust?
Yeah, evil people. I'll tell you after you finish. Go ahead.
I'm pretty much done. It's depressing to me. There are some people who don't want to be spoiled, you know? They don't want to hear it. And I'm like sitting there saying to them, "Oh, you're going to have to turn off local chat. You're going to have to turn off map chat in game. You cannot trust people in game anymore." Like, I read a horrible Game of Thrones spoilers in the most random place on the internet earlier, and it's going to be the exact same thing here, but for the Guild Wars 2 community. And it's like, yeah. I think just as much blame goes on the absolute thoughtless, brainless child on the internet that decided, "Oh, I'm going to spoil all this stuff. I'm going to have 2 seconds in the limelight. I'm going to post all this," because, you know, they read it, they get excited, they want to share, whatever. I can understand. But the damage you do by sharing that stuff out just is completely irresponsible, in my opinion. But what's even more irresponsible is ArenaNet seem to have somehow leaked that into the patch, and I can't understand why. The only thing in the back of my mind, maybe, that makes me think, "Oh, here's why they could have done it," is because they weren't sure about the way that their story was going to go, and maybe they're like, "Oh, let's leak it in a little bit early. If there's some massive backlash, then maybe we have time to change it," which is like such a ridiculous notion that I can barely even support myself saying it, you know?
Yeah, no.
Then how do they mess up that bad?
They shouldn't change it all because there's a ridiculous backlash. Like,
which there isn't, I should add.
Which, you know, you do what you do with the way it was written, and that's it. You know, don't go and change something half-butt. Like, why? Why even do that? Like, that's happened so many times with forum posts. Like, I would look up a game, and I would like read, you know, a review or something like that, and then like not from like an official website, but like from a forum post, and like someone would still spoil the whole thing in the next post. Like, it's just like, whoa, there's a spoiler thing that you can use. Like, this totally defeats the purpose of me playing the game now. Like, I want that ending. I want it to wrap up everything, you know, from the game. And no, people just love to spoil stuff. And if you think the ending was garbage, it's just like, why even play the game now? You kind of lost the initial drive to complete it. Because, you know, some games like to take your time, go through all the other side quests and stuff like that, and then defeat it, you know, at the end, you know, actually complete it. But yeah.
Okay, so tell me about Rust, because Rust, here's the segue as well. Rust, however, isn't a game where the story can be spoiled for you, because it has very little story. Matt, you've been playing the game, haven't you? Tell us, how has it been? I am so curious. How's Rust been? How much did you buy it for, first of all? Because
it's all $20.
So it's is it still a Dutch auction, or is it?
No. That ended a while ago. Now everyone just pays $20 and you can get into the Rust. Okay. It's made by the same guy who made Gary Mod. I think I told you that, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it's very promising because basically you start as like a caveman, right? And you like work yourself up to like you know.
Well, hold on. What's the genre? What is it? It's like DayZ, right?
All right, people compare it a lot to DayZ because it's like a survival game, but it's not really DayZ. Like DayZ, like you spawn, you can find guns randomly in the world and stuff like that. No, in Rust, it's more about gathering and crafting your way up, right? Like, so you start with a rock in your hand, and then you can gather some wood, and then you can gather some stone. Use the stone to make a hatchet, a stone hatchet, and gather some more stone, some more wood. Then gather some metal, and then you move your way up to like a metal hatchet, and then you start making a shack out of wood, and then you start using the metal to make fragments, to make gunpowder, to make sulfur, to make a furnace, to do all this craziness to make a gun. And then you make a gun, and then if you find guns off zombies, and zombies are like not like roaming random places. There's like radiated areas that you can go to, and it's all about these radiation spots, and these are where like the best loot is, or the best randomized loot. And the zombies also give you some stuff if you shoot them and kill them. And it's really hard. Yeah.
Isn't like the twist to Rust. I saw a video ages ago. Isn't like the whole point to it is like it's a bit like Minecraft, right? Or whatever. Like you build your own stuff. You build a shelter from scratch.
You build a shelter.
Is that not a big part of the game then? Because you didn't really mention it.
Yeah, I did. So you build a shelter with wood. Yeah, you build a shelter with wood, right, okay. And then you can eventually branch out. You have to make a foundation. You can make it as big as you want to, as high as you want to. Like it just has all the tools. It has the foundation, the walls, the stairs, the doorway, and then you can turn wood into metal, and you can have a full metal house, which is harder to break through because what they can do is people can actually break through your house, right? If you have wood, people could just break it through with a hatchet. If it's all metal, then they would have to use satchel charges, which is like C4.
Mm-hmm.
And and it could explode your house and just grab all your stuff.
But why are they doing it? What's like the ultimate? I guess I've never really understood games like this. It's just survival, right?
It's just survival, basically, because it's PvP. Basically, if you're playing on a PvP server, people you constantly talk to people. Some people are nice, most people are evil, and that's. Now that you know about the game, now that you know about the game, let me tell you what happened. So I was playing with a friend, right, and we were building a house, and I was naive because the first few times that I came into the game, people didn't shoot me on sight. People were actually helping me, being nice and killing the douches and stuff like that. Like people were nice, and then we were building a house. There were some naked guys.
Naked? What? Why?
There were some naked guys in the house.
Okay.
And, I wanted to be neighborly, right? He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. My friend's like, just don't do it. And I was like, what? We need some wood, right? And I was like, hey, neighbors. Yeah, because you have this voice chat. And he's like, hey, who's out there? Who's out there? And I'm like, no, do you have some wood? Just being neighborly. Hold up, you live around here? And I'm like,
wait,
no.
Is this like a real conversation you had?
Yes, with a random person.
Wow,
living next to us.
Cool.
We were behind the rocks, and I went out to get some wood, and I want to see if they, give us some wood. And I was like, and I noticed he was very giving me a questionnaire kind of thing, and I was like, huh.
Like what? Like what questions were on the questionnaire?
And he was like, oh, where do you live? And I'm like, nowhere. He's like, oh, I have no stuff here. Look, see, I have no stuff. Because he's naked, and I'm like, I don't want to see your wiener, dude. Like you see wieners in this.
Oh, okay.
And
how much did you say it cost again?
Huh?
Never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And he was like, I got nothing. We just got hacked and blah blah blah. A hacker came and took all our stuff. And he's like,
what? That's the end of the story.
No. And then he wants to invite us into his house. And I was like, nah, we're cool. We're cool. So where do you live, man? I was like, nah, just, somewhere in the mountains. And he's like, why would you tell him that? And I was like, what? They're not going to find us. It's pitch black. Like, it's pitch black. There's no way he can find us. No way. And then he starts following me with a torch, him and his friend. And I'm like,
this is really creepy. Okay.
And it's starting to get a little creepy. So I run down the street, right?
Okay.
For people who played Rust, this is like the top right-hand side of the map near the curve. And I was like, okay. I run down the street and log out. I was like, there's no way. This is creepy. He finds the house. How
long were you locked out
in
for?
Pitch black, he finds the house. And my friend, he's like, he's breaking in. He's breaking in. And I was like, I'm logging back in. I'm logging back in. And he, like, they break through. They break through and they kill us. They had guns.
Oh, dude.
And I was like, why do... They stayed completely silent the whole time. Just imagine blank looks of a man just hatching the door. Thump, 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 thump over and over again while they say nothing.
Wow. And you know they can talk.
And they can talk because they're just
and is
so
your friend
talkative.
Screaming out loud to you, but to them at the same time?
You're so stupid. Why would you tell them? And we just got started. Just had a nice house, had a lot of food, just about to make a gun, whatever. Dead. So you could have killed them. Wiped us out. They killed us. Came in and shot us in cold blood. That is, if you were to watch that, like if someone who just didn't know that this existed, watch that, that would be like, are these guys psycho? Like,
it is the kind of thing that, like,
you just wonder if this would happen to the world, how much people would survive. Like, I seriously think people would.
Well, it is a video game,
dude. But I don't understand the mindset of someone who just goes out there just to manipulate people and take their stuff and kill them.
That sounds pretty fun.
I guess. Well,
I don't know. You're not telling me that after you got your gun and whatever, eventually you're going to be like, all right, let's go.
Oh, no. I'm not that evil. Look, I swear, someone comes up to me, right, with a shotgun. Hey, are you friendly? As soon as I answer, he explodes my brain.
Do you say
Boom.
yes?
I say, yeah, boosh. That's it. I was like, this is the most douchiest thing I've ever seen. Oh, my God. Just like little 10-year-olds just going around with shotguns. Like, and you know, but this is what happens. It turns you into a monster. You don't trust anybody. If they come close, you kill them. That's pretty much it. It turns you into that. And this is what happens. It's a cycle. Someone kills you over and over. You get irritated and you start killing people when you get started. That's what happens. And then everyone is just evil. Like, there's no point. There's no point to the game at that point. And that's where, like, is Rust worth your money? Like, is it?
This game isn't worth your money.
Because you're going to go in.
It makes you a psycho.
You're just going to go in and you know, be frustrated. And then you're going to kill everyone. And then it's just going to be like, wow. Like, this guy could be having a bad day. And you just rape him, man. And let me not do that again. Someone sent me a PM about that the other day.
Really? Oh my God. No way.
Like a few episodes ago. I was like, don't use that, dude. I apologize.
Don't use the rape word. Really? Can I use the rape word?
You're gonna keep repeating it, huh?
No, it's like when people, you know, they use like the N word, but it's in like, you know, like an educational setting, and it's totally okay. It doesn't offend anyone.
Oh, did you listen? I heard about this teacher who got in trouble for that, and
because it was like Black Pride Day or something, and he was giving people like fried chicken or something, right?
Oh my! Are you really? Are you serious?
Yeah. I was reading something about that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like, no, kids were, like,
Did he pull out the grape soda and watermelon, too?
Yeah. Like, some school was serving it as their school dinners. It was, like, watermelon and fried chicken and stuff, and then later they issued an apology.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I would have laughed hard, even if I was white. If I was white, if I went to school and we had that, I would have just laugh so hard, man. I would be on the floor. Like, you go to the lunch lady and like, oh, I would like some fried chicken. Oh, some watermelon. Oh, you have grape soda, nothing, no milk, just grape soda.
Here, this is it. School administrators apologize for menu of fried chicken, cornbread, and watermelon meant to celebrate Black History Month. Yeah, so they had to apologize for that charming joke.
Dude, I'm telling you, every black person listening to this is rolling on the floor unless they're like really uptight. Like,
And then they complain, and then everybody.
No, black people secretly we laugh at just black humor. Like I don't know. Like I guess I always liked Dave Chappelle, and I've always liked Key and Peele. Like I love that type of comedy. Like it's just so funny because it's just. I mean, come on, like. It's been a while since slavery has been like such a big thing at least in the U.S. At least in the U.S. And
how can you say this after watching 12 Years a Slave?
Oh, that's right, you watched it.
Back to the movies, baby.
What do you think about the movie overall? Like the movie, you think it was just
a pretty good movie? I think it was a pretty good movie. 7 out of 10, I'd give it. Maybe 8 out of 10. Pretty good movie.
I think 8 out of 10 is fair. I think 8 out of 10. I thought it was really good and it was satisfying, especially the ending. Even though, of course, you know what happened. The words kind of
the whipping scene in that film was pretty brutal.
Oh man,
I'm gonna say like,
dude,
real chunks of flesh, like, and they are graphic as hell with that scene. And it
reminds me of the
pretty
Passion
crazy.
of Christ when they were whipping Jesus. Like it was.
I've never
nuts.
actually seen the Passion of the Christ.
It's crazy, dude. Like, you just see all that flesh coming off. Oh boy, yeah. Whatchamacallit? What? The guy that we always talk about. The young guy. When he's singing that song.
Who? What are we talking about now?
Oh, was it you that always talk about there's this young actor. He was in. Oh no, it's not you. Okay.
Wow.
This is.
There you go.
This
is not me, guys.
There's this movie called The Prisoners with the Wolverine guy, Hugh Jackman.
Okay, yeah, Hugh Jackman. Yeah,
you ever watched it?
No, I haven't seen him in that. No.
There's a guy who he's a little bit slow. He's been in a lot of movies. He's the guy with the glasses. You remember the guy with the glasses who really hated the main character inside of 12 Years a Slave, and he was
yeah.
And he wanted to kill him. Right? Remember that? Yeah, you remember that song he was singing? Yeah, like that guy is a really good actor. Every time I see him in a movie, like he just plays his role so to the point that it's just a little disturbing, and it was a little disturbing in 12 Years a Slave. Like
last time we were talking about,
you really think that he's racist, like straight up racist, and I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, but considering he is a slave owner in the movie. Yeah. I think if he didn't sell his racism to you, it might be kind of weird. But then again, Benedict Cumberbatch, last time we were talking about this movie,
I was trying to avoid this. Yeah, go ahead. Isn't that good? You know, he's just a subpar actor.
He was okay. Here's what I thought watching the movie.
And eat my biscuits.
He was okay, but I sort of felt like he had to be relegated to a smaller, supportive role.
Yeah,
because he couldn't do a very convincing American accent.
Oh, come on now.
That's how I felt watching the movie. I was like, I'm not buying your accent, bro. I'm not buying it. Could be because I'd seen him in Sherlock and stuff, but still.
Sherlock season 3 was probably the best season.
We're not going there again. Bong.
Best season. I'm just gonna.
Bong. We're moving on. No more Sherlock. Jesus. So there was free stuff on the gem store. Did you get in on that?
Yeah, a revive orb and a booster for XP.
XP booster.
Well, who the hell needs that? Like a revive orb is actually pretty useful in sometimes. Like it's really, even though I never have them on me when I really need them. So.
There's also a character slot sale, so there you go. Gemstore news.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh wow, is this actually something you care about? Okay.
I need to get one. Well, I'm not like you who bought like 20 billion slots like in the beginning.
No, they're different accounts, and they were for like my LP. For people that don't know, when Guild Wars 2 launched, I had like a bunch of different accounts because I was going to do like my Let's Play Do you know my Let's Play's got like over 100,000 views on episode 1? I'm like,
What?
I'm sort of like, should I finish that now? Yeah. Like,
are you serious?
it drops off really, really quickly. But yeah, like, it seems to be the go-to video people click when they search for a Guild Wars 2 Let's Play. But my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play was never any good. Like, I was never super happy with it. And like the views plummet like really quickly.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
under
the
no
same thing with
illusion
me
if
as
I
well.
started uploading it now, not many people would be interested in watching it. But my original idea was I was going to have a different character for a different account. So eventually, when the story led to Ascalon Catacombs, all 5 of my characters would group up and then they'd go, and like I had all these cool ideas. But yeah, I bought a bunch of accounts and that's why I have them. And now Matt's like, oh, you want to do slots? I'll take advantage of that. I got a couple. I can buy a couple. I need them. Bong, you ready?
Bong.
I want. Do you mind? Do you want to sound more ready than that?
Woo! Let's do it, baby.
Okay. All right. I wanted your opinion on. I think this warrants some discussion. People will want to know. Because it was probably something that affected a lot of people. So the day that Edge of the Mist came out, it was actually down. What do you think about that? Were you there for that?
Yeah, I was there. I was waiting. I don't. It's kind of like you kind of expect it.
Is it acceptable?
No, it's not acceptable. I don't think so because they had a beta for it. Like, why not test it for real? Like, why not have like one of those betas where everyone has it for like a weekend and then you test it out then? Well, like, why do this thing where like it's broken on day 1 for like the whole day? Why is it a thing with them that something's always broken and there's always some bug?
What do you think about the argument that if they had done like a fresh weekend or whatever, it would have been broken on day 1 anyway? So why not just release it and be done with it, and accept the fact there's going to be hiccups and address them then and there?
Yeah. We could have got it earlier, and it could have been fixed earlier. Yeah, because really, I don't know. Like, why did it crash? Like, what was the hiccup?
I can tell you why. I can tell you what it was. Or at least, as far as I'm aware, one of them. There's actually been loads of little patches and builds that have gone out. It's really not that typical for ArenaNet to do that. They don't like kicking people out that much. You know, they've got even these hot fixes they can do privately that sort of go up to the server or whatever without kicking people. But you can really see after the Edge of the Mist came out, there's been loads of very rapid little updates that have gone. I know that the original reason it was down, as far as I'm aware, was there was a bug. You know how a map has a cap on the amount of players that can be in it?
Yeah.
There was like a bug that meant that cap wasn't in place. So when the patch very first went live and people went into Edge of the Mist, they were all like going into one map. And it was like the most laggy, ridiculous thing ever. But you've done the Juggle Worm, right? Apparently, it was like a full Jungle Worm Zerg size of people just stood about at the airship at the top. Everywhere, and that was the same for all 3 servers.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, except the skill lag was so bad it was like you couldn't do a single thing. Except
well, you get skill lag with the cap, so I mean, I would expect.
Well, yeah, but
I would expect
really
1 frame
bad.
per second, or people's system just exploding.
No, that's FPS lag. Skill lag is like when you use an ability and it like takes 10 minutes to actually do anything.
Oh, hold up! So it was actually playing, like you actually get frames.
It was like it was like network lag. Because there were a bazillion people on the server, so you couldn't use any skills or anything, but you could walk around and.
But your system, the FPS wasn't bad.
Yeah, I don't believe whether the FPS was bad was based entirely on the client's computer, you know, and what they've got their graphic settings at and stuff. You know, if you had bad FPS, then you just turn culling up, and then.
I wonder what the average was for having all those people on the screen.
Yeah, if you had no culling, that'd be interesting to see. It sounded awesome, though, having all these people. And then it went down, and then that's why it went down at first, I believe, anyway. Because there was just all these ridiculous people in one Edge of the Mist map, pulled from all of North America and EU servers all together. Which is pretty cool. But that's my last bong, I'm afraid. So you're going to have to get a hit from somewhere else next time.
Oh, get a hit.
So those are the topics. That's what's going on with Guild Wars 2. Do we move on to the questions?
Question time! And Hitler is here.
I like the idea that you were like panicking. You're like, oh my god, I haven't got the bell. But people are looking at you like you've got a camera on you or whatever. I'm just saying. And then like you like very casually slide off to the side, grab the doll or whatever it is, and then bring it over like without moving, like super casual. Is that what you did?
Oh yeah, of course, obviously, because you would have heard.
Okay, I'm up.
Yeah. Fart
Whoa.
jokes. Fart jokes. Come on.
I was,
the
making
comedy
fat
level
joke.
just went up another degree.
I feel like fat jokes are higher on the list than fart jokes. But hey.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you still
come
eating
on.
your Christmas cake?
Oh, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I need to buy a new candle. I want to buy a new candle so I can.
Oh,
sit
so
in
you
the
can
dark
sit there
eating
here
Christmas
lonely
dark.
in a room with no lights on,
Yeah.
and it's cold outside, and all you have to do is all you have to warm you is that little candle.
Oh, don't paint a depressing scene. Don't.
I can see you rubbing your hands together. Oh, it's so cold. It's so cold.
This is cyber. Oh, I keep making that line.
Cyberbullying.
Yeah. I don't appreciate it. It's getting out of hand. Too much cyberbullying going on in my life at the moment.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah. How are you not used to these comments these days?
Got some deep stuff going on, man. I take it really to heart. Like, all right, let's move on. Let's go to the questions. So today, so how many questions did you contribute today, Mr. Visual?
Oh, so you just gonna put me out there like that?
Uh huh.
I like how you do that. You know, you do that when it's running.
I really,
like this.
yeah. I really don't care, to be honest.
Wow.
Throw you under the bus every time. So how many questions did you contribute?
I contributed 6. You contributed 2. So there you go.
Wow, he's completely correct. That is exactly what happened. What I'm gonna do, but no, in all seriousness, guys, some of these came from my Q&A video, but we're just gonna be answering them. So, like, if it just says, well, I guess I can read it to address both of us. But yeah, you ready? That was
yes, ma'am.
Smooth. All right, we're gonna go with kind of what I find to be quite an interesting question. We'll see what we think about it. This is from someone called Eshlar, who sent me a personal message saying, my question is, why is it so hard for some players and even developers to understand or at least respect the fact that a large number of other players don't play games for challenge, but simply to have fun exploring a fantasy world? Is it arrogance or perhaps ignorance? Are you all right? You all right there?
Yes.
Is it arrogance or perhaps ignorance? And how would you handle Guild Wars 2 so that it can be completed easily by those who want that kind of gameplay, but still maintaining challenging goals for those who want that instead? Would specific servers with toned down difficulty and or slightly altered gameplay mechanics be the best answer? It bothers me because it seems that people who defend a game must be hard or challenging tend to have an elitist attitude, like they're the only ones that deserve to have fun.
There's this whole like area where it's just like, oh, if you want hardcore content, that means you're an elitist. Like, what's up with that? And people automatically, especially when they hear us, we like, oh, we like how this is hard, we like how the worm is hard, or blah blah blah. And people think, like, automatically say, oh, you're an elitist, and you know it's hurting us casuals. Like, why is that? Like, this whole casual, like the pretty much the whole game from launch was casual. Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, there's a
game.
lot of elements to the question because it's a long question and it's got a lot of loaded stuff in there. But to pick at one part here, just to start off with, how would you handle Guild Wars 2 so that it can be completed easily by those who want that kind of gameplay? Well, I wouldn't do anything differently at all. Like, are we seriously saying that getting from level 1 to 80, completing the personal story, doing general events and wandering around interior is not easy gameplay, is not low effort, you know, pretty brainless, wander about, spam skills gameplay? Are we really suggesting that it's not already that? Do we need specific servers that have toned down difficulty? Because there is a point where I feel like they've already hit the majority of what people consider to be just engaging enough to be fun, but not actually difficult. My answer to this is that most of Guild Wars 2 is already oriented at a rather casual audience. It's not, like, the question seems to suggest, and perhaps this isn't the suggestion, but it seems to suggest that it's actually tuned in general to be too hard, but it's not at all. 99% of Guild Wars 2 is very casual, very friendly to just very basic playing where you don't have to pay that much attention. And then there's a very small amount of content that gets added to the game every now and then that is difficult. And I absolutely think it is okay for that stuff to be difficult, and there should not be easy versions of it, because then that just like dilutes the meaning of doing it while it's hard.
You see, like, the majority of the audience just moves over to the easier side of the server.
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
because that's the majority of the audience is casual, and they just log in when they want to play.
So let's put it this way. Here's a suggestion that I heard a while ago. The jungle worm's just come out. Very, very, very difficult to beat the jungle worm. You know, like even kills that are going on with it seem to be shady based on scaling bugs, stuff like this, right? It's pretty difficult encounter, right? Not many people completing it, so people are like, oh, why don't they add like an easy version of it and then a hard version also for the people that really want it? My problem with the easy version, even if it comes with a different, lesser set of rewards, is that people will play through the easy version. They'll see most of the animations, pretty much all the animations of the boss, learn a lot of its mechanics but in a toned down state, and then where is the extra fun in going to the hard version? You know, it's sort of like when you give people like long raids, which obviously Guild Wars 2 doesn't have, and then you eventually get a boss at the end. And one of the most exciting things about getting to the end is seeing that boss and the way it works and all of its magic. And you're like, oh my god, we got to the end, and this is like this spectacle of the way this boss works and looks is our reward on some level. And when you create two versions that's really easy, you lose all of that straight away because it's like, oh, here, have it on a plate, you know.
And another thing is like you gotta have to leave some room for improvement as well. Like, I don't like a game that just holds my hand all day long. Like, where's the room for think that your player is smart enough to learn how to play the game properly and better and improve on your skills. Like, if like most people, like I stayed in PvE for a very long time, and I got so used to just skill rotations and just not dying, auto attacking, and then when I went to PvP and World v World, I had to totally just toss that out the window, and it's so hard because like you're like, wow, like I just been playing so horribly this whole time.
Yeah, It's really funny you mentioned that, dude. I like have a lot of respect for you to be able to openly say, hey, yeah, I auto-attacked a lot. I was sitting down watching as many streams as I could get my hands on of the way that the worm works, you know, like seeing how different classes do DPS-wise on different phases. And I've seen, out of maybe 10 streams total since this event started, I've seen maybe like 1 or 2 people that vaguely impressed me. Everyone is like, and this what I'm about to say is horribly elitist, but it's true. Like, people are really bad in PvE. Like, most people don't recognize that they have a lot of other cooldowns. Most people don't recognize that they can weapon swap or many of the options they have available to them, and they just get used to auto attacking. And Guild Wars 2 is a game that has always cultivated that. So I don't mind at all that they're now finally adding difficult content. And I think the question that's being asked sort of suggests that, oh, Guild Wars 2 is somehow in a state that's only catering to elitist audiences and audiences that want hardcore content, when I would say it's the exact opposite. Guild Wars 2 has always catered to casual people and continues to cater to casual people, and it's a very minority amount of the content that's actually difficult, and then for some reason this discussion comes up like it's a big deal because they're finally adding tough stuff. Like, let them add at least a little bit, you know, without going off the handle. Again, not saying the asker is, but yeah.
I don't know, like, playing the engineer has like kind of changed the way I play the game entirely, really. Like, I remember last year learning the different combos I can do with just swapping my weapon constantly as my guardian and being able to tank. Like, I would have, you know, my mace, you know, keep healing me over and over again and then doing some damage with my greatsword, then keep going back and blocking all attacks, healing, and I just keep rotating like that. And I was like, wow, like, what if I was just sitting here just spamming all my greatsword abilities like I used to do? Like, I was just like, wow. Like, it's such an improvement, and I sit there and I watch people do that, and I'm like, you can be playing so much better, but, like, I guess they don't kind of know what.
Well, no, this is what the question asker's saying. It's saying, why do they have to? He's saying, why is there so much emphasis, so much arrogance, or perhaps even ignorance to the idea that people have fun even if they're not playing super optimally? I think that's perfectly fine, and it's perfectly true, and you can play pretty badly in Guild Wars 2 and get away just fine the entire time, you know?
Oh,
and,
yeah, you can.
That's fine.
For a very long time.
I actually don't see a problem with Guild Wars 2 in this respect. I think the game is very friendly to people who want to play like that. Very accommodating of that mindset. And, yeah, I don't mind when they finally add a little bit of harder content. And I am of the demographic that enjoys that harder content, so of course I'm going to say that I like it. But I don't say I like hard content to you know, dismiss the people who like easy content. You know, that's totally fine. And I like to sit back mindlessly and do stuff every now and then. Did you hear? Okay, bong. This is going back to the start. This is a topic that I didn't think about. Did you see that fishing rods have also been data mined from the game?
I was just about to say fishing.
Boom,
I was like,
yeah.
that is something mindless I wouldn't mind doing at all. And have like some type of mini game to catch a big fish.
Yeah, like, so, you know, you'll probably find even players who like hardcore content.
I feel like a MMO has to have that majority. Like, it has to have the like 1/2 content, like just all about regular stuff, doing fishing and crafting, or, you know, and it's fun. It's not like, you know, some of it's gonna be grindy, of course, but like, it's a fun thing to do on the side that will give you benefits to your other stuff. Kind of like how PvP can benefit PvE now, and PvE can benefit PvP. Like, kind of that kind of whole dynamic going on, and they add this whole other half that, fishing and all these other activities that you could do inside the town while you're just sitting there, you know, like half AFK talking to people, having conversation. You can do that. You can do that, and that it would affect your home instance or blah, blah, blah. And, you know, because people hang out anyways, and all these RPing, like, that'll add another degree for those guys, you know? And I don't mention those guys enough, you know? I know those guys are hungry for somebody. You know, they're like, oh, what about, you know, sitting and stuff like that? But anyways, yeah, definitely. I would love to see how they do fishing. Hopefully it's not just like, you know, you just toss it in and just kind of wait. Hopefully it's like some type of fun mini game.
To put a final little cap on the question, I do just want to express that I really understand why casual players feel like they're downtrodden a lot. I think people are very arrogant, and they do consider themselves to be of a higher caliber or something just because they want difficult gameplay. And I don't think the default stance of games should be that they're difficult. And I actually think you'll find over the past 20 years or so, there's been a huge swing in video games in general to accept that fact and understand that fact, and that some people are just explorers who like to wander through games. And, you know, I think that's something to be celebrated. I don't think that casual players are being left in the dust. And if you really look at the way Guild Wars 2 is designed, I think you can understand. ArenaNet see that too, and they've catered it that way. So yeah. Right, so the next question comes from Mr. Mert Visual on the last VisualWood podcast. I have to say, guys, I'm a little disappointed. You know, I lowered my tone a little bit last podcast, and I asked you guys to leave a cheeky little comment, I believe was what I said, and nobody did. What's going on, guys? Like 3 questions? Come on, guys. Any questions you've got at all, leave a cheeky little comment below, and we'll see. Question 1 is opening in Photoshop, because I've been playing around in Photoshop a lot, so it's taken a while. Here we go. It's from EloKiller2, who says, question for next VisualWood. Says, hello, Matt Visual, and negative potatoes. Where's this coming from? If you had the same powers, I didn't hear that, as your main accounts in Guild Wars 2, and you could bring any boss from Guild Wars 2 into real life to engage in glorious combat, which would it be? I'm going to let you answer that first, because I really can't think of a good one. Like what? Giganticus Lupicus was the first that came to mind.
I would totally bring Zaitan, because it would be a glorious fight, but it will also be easy and I won't die.
Oh my god, that's actually a genius answer. Did you pick this question because you already had that?
No, actually, I thought that on the top of my head. No lie, I was about to say a Quaggin, because that, you know, I would love to see it and then just stab my heart. I mean, stab my sword into it. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow, that's pretty dark. Do you want to talk about that?
No. I love Quaggins.
You love them, but you want to kill them.
I'm pro Quaggin.
Sound like psycho ex-boyfriend.
Very intelligent beings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. What's your answer?
The centaur boss in Harathi Hinterlands, because that was like the first big encounter I ever really had, or like a big memory of for a world boss, and I was like, what is this? Because I'd pushed the event chain from the start to the end. Yes,
me too. I remember when events were constantly up in Guild Wars 2, and you could just do that, like any time of the day. You can just push an event. The event was always constantly on, and me and a couple friends pushed that event, and it was the most amazing feeling. And we just wanted to go in every area and complete every meta event because of that experience. Because he goes and he does all these big like what are those rock
dogs? Yeah,
rock dogs. They're like extra huge though, right?
Well, he's got 2 giant rock hands, and then there's some champion rock dogs there.
There's all kinds of stuff around, and I felt so newbie back then. It was great.
What I loved about that chain was like you started with maybe just yourself and a friend, like, and just this crack little team that leaves from that small outpost, like that's being attacked by centaurs, and you help defend it, and then you help just escort this tiny little squad of Sorarth across. And then as it progresses and you get deeper and deeper into the map, more and more players are flocking together. And then by the end, like, you've got this immense Zerg, and they're just all like charging this final fight. Like, it all builds up to a crescendo so perfectly. What a good dynamic event.
Yeah, it's just so sad that no one's there anymore, so you can't experience that anymore.
Yes, you can. At reset, you go there, and everybody's there killing that guy. They always want to just got to play at reset. The next, are we done? Next question. Repulsive. Matt, are you there? Did you die?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. Repulsive says, if you were to start over in Guild Wars 2, would you still choose an Elementalist or a Guardian as our main with the class knowledge that we now have?
No.
You wouldn't pick Guardian. I suppose that shouldn't surprise me. What would you pick?
Engineer.
Engineer? You wouldn't take that as an opportunity to learn something completely new?
I tried the other classes. I don't like Thief. I don't know. Like I hate them. And I don't want to be that guy that just always disappears and runs away. I don't find that satisfying. I find it satisfying to kill someone or beat the odds. And I was like, I don't want that gameplay. I just didn't like the initiative thing as well. Mesmers, I never got past level 10 with a Mesmer. I just can't do it. And I guess I could say the same thing for Engineer, but I just kind of, after you showed me like all the stuff that Engineers can do, I just powered through. And I ended up loving it. But I don't know. Like, I played the other classes. I have a warrior, and I think warriors are... I don't even want to go into warriors. Warriors are warriors.
No. What do you think they're broken or what?
I don't know, man. Like, they seem like the easy peasy class. Like, they're the highest melee damage, the this and that, and they never get nerfed. They always get buffed. Like, it's just all this craziness, dude. Like, I don't like the design of it though. I like my Guardian. I like my Guardian for that type of style of gameplay. I liked being a little tanky and then being able to help out, in a team and stuff like that. I mean, Guardian's such an initial part to have in your party sometimes, depending on what you're doing. And Engineers, Ranger, I'm saving for Tengu.
Okay.
I'm saving for Tengu, even though they're the most annoying things. And I was like, man, I would love to just go around and just kill noobs, because Rangers is a perfect noob killer. Perfect. All you do is send your pet and you just keep shooting that stupid bow. Oh gosh, it's so annoying. I'm currently learning how to defeat them. Yeah. Oh yeah, true. It's both. It's a noob killer and it's a perfect class for noobs as well.
Bear bow for the win. All day, every day.
All day.
I think my answer to this question is probably Mesmer. In Guild Wars 1, I was really close to making a monk, and in the end I decided not to, and I went with a Mesmer. In Guild Wars 2, I made a Mesmer, got to like level 30-ish, and then decided it wasn't for me and swapped to Ellie. And if I could start it all again, knowing what I now know, I'd like to think I'd push Mesmer the full way. Like, my Mesmer still isn't even level 80, and I understand a lot about their class now, and I think they offer a lot of really fun utility and things that I just couldn't appreciate. I knew it was there at launch, but I just couldn't quite tap into it, and I didn't have that much fun leveling. So yeah, maybe Mesmer, I think, is my answer.
Mesmer is my next class I'm looking at, but it's just like...
It's horrible leveling one.
Yeah, it is, and I feel like it's going to take me some time to learn that. Like, I feel like I need someone there explaining me everything they can do for me to grasp the concept of a Mesmer. Because it seems like overly complicated. I'm pretty sure it's not if you get used to it. I mean, anything you get used to, it's not really overcomplicated anymore.
NG is more complicated than Mesmer. I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, like now that I'm learning NG, I guess because I had the urge to learn NG, then like now it's like, oh yeah, I'd love doing that, doing all the combos and stuff, like ridiculous combos. Holy balls. Yeah, definitely. It's cool. I just want Tengu to come out so I can play my Ranger as well. Please let that happen. Yeah.
Matt, visual stamp of approval.
Yeah. Tengu. Kodan.
Tengu.
Oh man, I would remake my Guardian just to have a Kodan Guardian.
Really? With its legendary and everything?
Oh. All right. Maybe I didn't think this through.
Well, okay, but you know you can unsoulbind it, yeah. So
if only there was not a class changer, a race changer. Just totally like resets your personal story and everything like to the beginning. That'd be cool.
They'd probably had a lot of money off of that.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
A lot of money, dude. Tons of money, and a class changer as well, like a full-on makeover kit.
Seth King 100 asks, "Hello, Madden WP. What are your thoughts on legendary weapons in PvP, and how do you think we will get them? Do you think that maybe it will just be PvE legendaries just moved over to PvP, or will there be its own grind to make one for PvP? P.S. There is that guy that has Quip in PvP, and I met him and played a game with him, playing solo queue. I asked him, and he didn't tell me anything new about it. Any thoughts? What do you think?"
All right, so you know how to get the Quip in PvP, so I'll let you handle that.
No. I know about the guy with Quip in PvP. I will say, it's pretty crazy. I don't know how, but he's this guy with, like, a legit Quip. Like, it's not... Okay, so sometimes if you have a PvE legendary and you go to PvP and then you, like, maybe use a tonic or a transform or something, it will bug out and show your PvE legendary aura, even though you're in PvP, if that makes sense. So, I have an incinerator, okay? And sometimes while I'm PvPing... I look like I've got an incinerator, but it's just the effect, and like I have no PvP weapon. This guy is holding, he doesn't just have the glowy effect, he has the gun itself that's making the noise, and he's like pinged it before to people, and it comes up and says, PvP legendary Quip. And it's like, what is this? How did this happen? And he's like, I don't know, I can't really say. Or like some stupid excuse or something. Some dude out there, or some random guy, obviously like a friend of a dev or something. Very, very weird. I don't know what the story is there. Nobody's ever announced it. But there is a guy, it seems... And this is some massive trick. And it's like the greatest troll ever. And now they've got me saying it on this podcast. But it seems like there is perhaps...
What does that mean? They got you saying it on this podcast. Are you trying to hold yourself up to some pedestal?
To some renown? Yeah. Now everyone's saying it. Everyone will be saying it after I say it.
Whoa!
And then it'll be wrong, and everyone's like, first. "Oh, he's so wrong."
You're proving all those guys in the comments like, "Oh my gosh, WP just gets more and more conceited every episode of VisualWood."
People don't say this. People don't say this.
They did. I could probably find it. I'll find it.
Oh man! You don't be depressing me.
I'm joking. Don't be sad. WP, it's all good. It's all good. People say worse stuff about me, my friend.
Do you want to answer the question?
All right. Obviously, I don't know if he was asking if it is going to be in PvP, but yeah, it's going to be in PvP eventually. I know the dev doing it, so he's like, "Oh, you have to wait and see." But I think they might have a way.
Nice impression there.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it is, at least. Yeah. Anyways, I think they're gonna have a way to get the PvP legendaries, and I think they might have specific PvP legendaries for PvP. No, that wouldn't make any sense because it would transfer over. But yeah, I think there might be a way to get a PvP legendary, whether it be its own thing that you could probably get it from there and might bring out. Maybe that's probably something like that, or you can get the ones that are already there. Some stuff from the past might be mixing up with some stuff in the future.
I don't think they'll add entirely new skins in PvP for PvP legendaries.
I think it was a thing before they announced that they were gonna be crossing PvE and PvP.
Yeah,
together.
And then it was just easier to like maybe that's what the Raven staff was. You remember that random legendary that was added?
Yeah,
a while ago. Maybe that was a PvP staff or something. I think they'll have their own grind, though, even when everything crosses over. But I think they'll be the same skins that we're accustomed to in PvE. But it's all a long way off, I'm sure. Unless maybe it's coming in like the big feature patch or whatever. We'll have to see. And maybe a lot more people will come to PvP at that point. It's time. It's time for the TLB.
What?
Oh, wait.
TLB?
The TLQB. Wow, I'm
last question time.
The last question bit,
Last question. Woo! Yeah.
Bong,
Explosions.
bong, 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 bong. Yeah. Okay.
Bong? No bongs.
It comes from 10 Finger Limit, who says, WP, if you were an Elder Dragon and MV, would you be an Elder Dragon?
You just snuck me in.
It's good. This wasn't one for my channel. If you were an Elder Dragon, would you be an Elder Dragon? What's your answer to that?
Hold up. Say that again? If I was an Elder Dragon, would you...
Yeah.
Who would it be? Or...
No, would you be an Elder Dragon?
Would I be? Oh, okay. I thought I heard that wrong. If I were an Elder Dragon, would I be an Elder Dragon?
Yeah. It's an interesting premise, isn't
it? But you're saying I am an Elder Dragon. But would I be an Elder Dragon?
I mean, you
if
can
I
see
was
this
an
question
Elder
in our Skype window, like the last thing I wrote to you.
Really? Let me see. Let me read this. If you were an Elder Dragon, would you be?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say that he wrote that wrong, right? I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
What else could he mean? I don't.
What else could he? What else could he mean? All right, for people at home who are not following, this is his question. WP, if you were an Elder Dragon, you're an Elder Dragon, would you be an Elder Dragon? Now.
No, there's meant to be some, emphasis on one word here. It's, if you were an Elder Dragon, would you be an Elder Dragon? He's asking you if you're old, dude. How rude of him.
Okay. Well, coincidentally, I'm 24, and we said in the beginning of this podcast.
It's full circle.
There we go. Look
Full
at that.
circle.
Look at that. This is probably the greatest podcast in the history of no other competition.
Should I bum everyone out at the end?
About your what are you going to do right now?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna, because I kind of want to mention it to people anyway. So we're recording a little bit. This is really gonna bum people out. You're gonna have to pick it up afterwards. We're recording a little bit later in the day today, guys. There might actually be a couple less videos on my channel. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm going to basically later on, after we're finished here, very soon actually, this has been recording for a while, I'm going to be going to put my dog down, which is very sad. So if there is a little bit of a break, it's probably because of that. A lot of you guys who've been watching my channel for a while, probably, you've heard me talk about him a few times. So pretty sad day. Doesn't help that Matt has been depressing me the whole way through the podcast.
What do you mean?
Telling me about comments and all this terrible stuff.
Like you're not used to it by now. You've been on YouTube for as long, a little bit longer than I am.
A little bit, way longer. I'm such a hipster. I've been here years before you.
Oh, please.
It's just on all these hidden channels that you don't know about. It's amazing.
We both grew on Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
While we have TB in our ear saying, never build your Guild Wars, your YouTube career on one game. Never. Everyone says that. Oh, wow, we put that out there. This just got real.
Very, very real.
This just really got real. Well, to lighten the mood, well, it's probably not gonna lighten the mood.
Yeah.
I lied to my wife. I'm a very, very, I hate lies. But I didn't really lie to her. I just didn't tell her the truth.
Okay, go on. What's the story?
My dog got really, really sick, right?
Okay.
And just at the same time, I got really, really sick as well. So, we were both really, really sick. And what happens is I had to give him away because there was no way I can take care of him. And my wife was always at work. So, yeah, I don't know if he got put down or not, but we gave him to I told her that we gave him to the Humane Society to get adopted again, but I don't know if he got adopted again. I don't know if he made it out of the 6.
How old was
I didn't
he?
have enough. I didn't have money at the time to pay. He was like I don't know how long I had him. Had him for. I don't know how long I had him, but I don't think I want to say either. I don't think I want to say either.
Yeah, like it's not fully my decision with what we're doing with ours, but like he's like 14 or something, and he's got pretty bad arthritis and stuff. But there's a big part of me that's like, man, is he really old enough to, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all right. So yeah.
We should move
Rainicorns and ponies.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful.
Right. That makes you
Beautiful.
feel happy inside. Right. Warm inside.
Yeah. My Little Pony reminds me of that Brony kid, if you remember.
Oh gosh, I remember talking about. Yeah, we talked about it on the show, did we?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, I think we did at one point.
Yeah. All right. Well,
and it may have even been in the show notes in the description below.
Not this one. Don't do that. People are getting angry at me for not putting links down because I always forget. Because
That's right, guys, I'm fighting your corner.
I always upload it before I leave the house, right? And yeah, so I never like get all these comments, you know, when I'm out there doing stuff. So yeah. And when I come home, I see all this craziness like, oh, Matt, you're terrible. Leave links. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's been a black screen the whole time. Oh nightmare.
Gosh. Our season finale. Yeah. Stupid YouTube. YouTube is...
I told you that happened to me as well, didn't I? I think I did.
With which video was that?
So I did, we were talking about, I just said all other channels and stuff. I put up like a bonus video to a second channel of mine, and it was a completely black screen on it for ages.
Yeah,
but I just left
Duck.
it. Yeah. And then I just left it there for ages, and then eventually it started working. I was like, yeah, good. It seems to be this new YouTube thing, but there you go.
It has to do with the resolution. If you go down a resolution, it works.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, it's a resolution thing. It doesn't finish processing the resolution, and it releases the resolution without finishing processing it. So it's stupid. They shouldn't do that. They should just have it in whatever resolution it's working on instead of just.
Are we still on the air?
Oh yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the VisualWood podcast episode number 24. How old are you, WP?
22. I'm 22 years old.
You're lying. Are you serious?
I'm not lying. Why would I lie about my identity?
Hold up, you're younger than me?
Yes! We like established this a long time ago.
That's right.
I'm officially insulted. Officially insulted.
You are younger than me.
Yeah, I'm younger than you. Yeah. All this youthful energy, you hear me bubbling in my voice? Yeah, see?
And stay visual.
We're looking at some events.
Well, why you have to say it like one of those commercials like, oh, be careful, you might get AIDS.
Terms and conditions may apply. How quickly can you say that? Terms and conditions apply.
I said it, but it was just a little bit
I thought you were meant to be able to
unaudible.
like talk quickly.
I'm not a rapper. I'm not Twister.
Oh, okay.
You know who Twister is? The rapper, the fastest rapper, or was it Busta Rhymes, the fastest rapper?
This is not white people conversation. I can't relate to this.
Whew. Now people know you're white.